says, is it ideal to move in with your partner before marriage?
So yeah, I personally think it's about preference, right? It's like it has to be you and your partner. You guys got to understand each other. But I personally think it's good because if you guys are in a serious relationship, at some point in your relationship, you guys are gonna have to move in together. You guys are gonna have to like live together. So I feel like it's only good. I don't think you can go wrong, right? But it just you guys just gotta like understand yourself. You guys understand how like work things out.
I think you can go wrong.
When a lady moves in with a man before marriage, the man kind of gets comfortable and won't do the right things to probably get her married early enough. I'm just saying it from the guys, from my own opinion, and probably most guys.
Define get up married. So a man has to get a girl married.
It's opinion based.
Okay.
You can think it the way you want to think it, I can think it, but I'm just saying probably majority of men. But on the other side, there's a positive side to it too because you get to know each other. There are certain things that you can't know about a person without living with them, so you know you're actually making that decision.
I'm sorry, yeah. I also want to make something clear, right? That it's cool, right, to like move in, like do all that stuff. But one thing I really don't support is when you guys start actually like you start sharing the responsibilities of a home. Like when you start living the life of like, okay, you guys are sharing rent together, you guys are doing everything. Like you guys are now becoming dependent on yourselves when you are not even married yet. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You guys are giving yourself responsibility of, oh, you are getting groceries, or we have to join money together to pay rent. You guys are now living as one, not that you guys are living together. That's
so what everyone has their own perspectives about relationships. Me, if I'm dating a girl and it's relationship, you know, it's like I look at life as it's me and you against the world. So if we're going to do groceries, if we're going to do anything, it doesn't count.
I feel like
true. I'm sorry, but let me just finish up my point. Right? Let me just finish up. I'm not saying that like this. I'm not saying she can't get you groceries. I'm not saying you guys can't buy stuff for yourselves that you're going to eat at home, right? Don't get me wrong. But I'm not in support of this. I'm not in support of the thing of like, oh, splitting rent. Like what's it called? You guys are sharing rent, right? Like, what's it called? The wife and the girl has to bring up money. You two now have to bring up money. You guys
who's gonna pay rent?
Calm down. Let me just finish. Everyone's not even letting me laugh, but let me just finish. Yeah, I'm totally not in support of that. Like, I feel like until you guys are married before you can start making decisions like that. That's when you guys start talking about like, oh, you're becoming too dependent on each other. So you feel me? Like you guys have to make are not married yet. You guys can still break up. We don't want the case where like, okay, you guys are now struggling to.
Okay, can I
like your lives are so intertwined together. You guys are so what's it called?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, I get you.
So, why did you move in together?
Yeah.
I know. Wait, no. This is like,
okay, cool. Let me answer your
multiple question. Wait, I can give you like
I can answer your question.
I can ask you multiple stuff like yo.
Well, you just asked me a question now.
Sure. Let me finish. Like,
okay.
A, why in the world are you guys living together?
Yeah.
And B, who's gonna take care of the house?
Who's paying for what?
Who's paying for what?
Calm down.
When you have a roommate, is it like, okay, you know what, come live with me, I'll take care of everything?
Okay, cool. You're asking me like who's gonna pay the rent? Like in this case, like I'm going for a possessive of like I'm a guy, right? If my chick is coming to live with me, like cool, like no problem. Like I don't have a problem with her coming to come and live with me. Like that's no issue at all. But I'm going to pay the rent. I don't want to become too dependent to the point where like I'm asking her to pay rent.
Who's taking care of the house?
Who's taking care?
He said
that is my house. Who's going to take care of it? Like if she's not there, who's going to take care of it? Yeah.
You're saying you don't want them to become dependent on each other, but then she becomes dependent on him because he's paying for the rent. How? So then, as a female, how is she supposed to handle it?
Because if you guys break
you're
up,
paying for everything, and then where does she go? She goes back to her mom's house.
First off, I think you guys are getting me wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't have a problem with her with me, right? I'm not saying like, dude, calm down. I'm saying I have a problem with her living with me, right? But I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is that I'm in a situation where like if we break up today, we don't have like anywhere to go. So calm down. In this situation, I'm dating this guy. I'm going from my partner. I'm dating this girl, but I know she has a place outside. What? She can go back to her parents' house.
What the fuck are you saying?
How Elias was saying, I was kind of confused by your points because if the guy's the one, the girl's moving in with the guy. This is why I don't, again, with my mom. She always said, don't move in with a guy. If you're going to move in, you both find a place together. Because at the end of the day, some people can change. right? Say you move in with the guy in his apartment, and then relationship starts going sour, he can kick you out, he can take these things away. While if you get a place together, it's 50-50, right? You can't come tell me to move out the house when my name is on the lease too, right? So I just think like you have to be really cautious. So you both don't want to be independent, but you don't want to be dependent on each other. Like one person should have the control in the house.
I feel as though like the amount of years you've been dating actually plays a factor in if you guys can actually live together. Because like when you're just like dating like a year, 6 months or so, like you're obviously going to be having sleepovers and all that stuff. I feel like that's enough to build a bond and in a way like kind of understand the person on like kind of like a base layer. Like you might not understand the person like deeply, but you should have like a kind of understanding of the kind of person the person is. And like I feel like to getting a place, like it's better to just get it together. Like even if like you guys have to split, like it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day it just feels more like a home if you guys are actually trying to build a home. And also like I wouldn't, like honestly in my opinion, my own personal opinion, like I would never live with a guy unless I'm engaged to the guy, because at that point, like if you're not engaged, then you don't even have like any guarantee. So what are you doing? That's just my own.
Do you have guarantee when you're married though? 50% of marriage.
I agree to a certain to like a lot of extent actually to what you're saying. But I just feel like even when you're doing sleepovers, right? The person might switch up on you. You never know. You can never tell somebody's character. But I guess the 2 years, I think you're saying it's a basis for getting to know somebody, right? But honestly, you can know somebody for X amount of years and they can just switch up.
I've got a question, right? I've got a question. So, like you guys are talking about if you're living together. So if you guys are living together, right, and the boy is paying the rent, right? Okay, these two couples, right? One couple are living together, the guy is paying the rent. The lady still has a house where she can go back to. She has options, right? If they break up, so she has options. And a couple where they're both paying rent, they've each got rooms.
Yes.
It's a 2-room apartment, you each got rooms. So if both those couples break up today, who do you think is gonna have it easier? Is it the couples who are living together still, or the couples that, what's it called? Oh, she's just staying together, right? And he's just my girlfriend. Like, who do you think is gonna?
I'm not talking. See, like originally, what my question was before is I was trying to understand. Are you saying that this place is the guy's? It belongs to the guy and he's renting it out, or they came together and moved to a place?
No, it could also belong to the girl, right? But like I said, my point is like when you guys start paying rent, you guys start living together. I feel like you guys have gone past a certain stage of like now you guys are not just having sleepovers. You guys are not just having random, oh let me stay at my boyfriend's house for 3 weeks kind of thing. You guys are actually now living together. I feel like that's a new stage entirely, totally, right? So that's what I'm comparing it to. I'm comparing it to the stage of, oh, you can stay at my boyfriend's house for 3 months, like, well, I know I'm not living there.
You still have a place to go.
Yes, to a situation of, what's it called? Both of us were both renting a house in the same place. To me, I feel like it's going to be more problematic if your girl is renting the same room with you. Like me personally as a guy, if my girlfriend is renting the same house with me, like that one, I definitely can. Till like we're engaged or like we reach a point where we're going to marry, then we can do that. But I don't have a problem with my girl staying in my house and even staying for a whole year. I don't know, like to me.
The thing is like, that's where I was trying to get at. Like when she eventually moves in, it's still your place. Does that make sense? When you move in, unless her name is put on the same lease as you.
But also look at it around too. It could also be a girl too. So
or the other way, yeah. But like, from what you were saying is what where I'm trying to get at is if the girl is coming to live with the guy, regardless of how long the period is, the rent is still under him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the responsibility is still on him.
Yeah, it's still on him.
I don't think that's still equal.
I mean, it's left for the girlfriend. It's left for the girlfriend to be a good girlfriend. Be like, okay, you know what? I'm seeing my boyfriend working on all these things. I'm deciding to go and help him because she asked me a question, or he asked me a question, right? That imagine if you're in a case where your girl is paying the rent and you're living in her, you don't have a place to go. I tell her, like, okay, cool. Probably I know at that moment I can't pay rent, but I'm definitely not going to sit around and just let her take all the responsibility of the house. I'm part of her, so I'm definitely gonna like help her in some way. That just falls back
So
to
you're
you.
splitting.
Do you know what
But
answer
that's
that
the thing.
question?
Hold up. But that's the thing. So at the way you started your point is you said you don't want them to be dependent on each other, but that like the person that's paying the rent, the other person is going to be dependent on them paying that, right? So that's why we reversed the situation. We said if it's the girl that's paying for everything, now you're saying, oh, I'm not going to be a bad boyfriend. I'm not going to want her to pay for everything. I'm going to help her out.
Yeah.
That introduces the fact that you guys are going to start splitting bills.
It doesn't
You
mean
guys
I
are
have
going
to
to
pay
start. You're not being dependent on the other. You're being equals.
Okay, but like get me wrong. If we split today, I know I still have a place to go back to. I can go back to my parents' house and live comfortably till I'm ready to move out again.
I want to say something quick. Like I wanted to attack what Eliza been saying, right? Like he's been building layers. Right now, he's just making up bullshit. When they asked you that question in the beginning, they said like, yo, I don't believe in moving in. You're talking about sleepovers. The moment you decide to move in with someone, bro, you're gonna split bills. She's not a housewife, or she's not a house girlfriend, or she's no pet. She's not like the bird I have where you just chill around, I take care of them. No, it's the house, bro. You should have just said, you know what, we're not moving in, or I don't agree with moving in. You're not just thinking about, oh, what if we break up? What if you break up? Go live by the shelter. I don't like you. What if you don't have money? You fucked up. We're not talking about what if. The question was simple. Hey,
I like that.
It was simple. It was clear as fuck. But man is putting layers and
What
layers
if,
and
what
layers.
if, we can play what if scenarios from now
Yeah.
to tomorrow.
Dan, can I say something?
Go ahead, man.
So you know what I think is, if you're trying to live with someone for like a number of months or whatever, and then you're trying to take up the responsibility to yourself, and the other party's not trying to pick up like any slack, it's just you trying to know who the type of person that person is.
But you know what you said? You said you weren't even comfortable that you
No, bro, it doesn't mean you're comfortable.
No,
You know what I think? You know what I think? If you can feed yourself, you can feed the other person.
Yeah.
If you get in an house for yourself, if you go get an house for yourself, you don't need someone to pay for it.
The moment,
You know what I'm trying to say?
No,
But living together for a while is you trying to understand the other person, right? So if she's not trying to help or like he's not trying to put in, then you know what
Listen,
that
thank
person
you.
is.
Yes.
Okay, okay, cool. Let's listen to these two guys. You guys are confused as fuck.
Because
Chill. Let me finish. You guys are confused. When you guys are trying to know each other, food doesn't count, eh? Rent, light, it doesn't matter. We don't know about rent. We're talking about me. Oh, Betty, what do you like? I like food. But there's no groceries. You know what? I will pay for it because like you guys are fucking confused.
Wait, okay, but then the thing they are saying is that when you're living together, she came into your house, you could pay your rent before she came in. Her being there is you trying to see if she can actually contribute, if she can actually pass a test.
You're
okay before she came, so why should she not come and start paying half rent?
No. The moment you guys decide to move in together, right? You guys are trying to build a life together. You guys are trying to know each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So meaning you'd want your finance to be okay. So meaning you can't just let her come in the house and you're taking care of everything. She's just chilling there. She's lying down. We're getting to know each other. I'm getting to see all your flaws. I'm getting to see if you good with money or you bad with money or do you cook. We're getting to know each other.
Yeah.
You can't just move into my house and be like, you know what? Because I came into your house. You take care of everything. We're not in Africa, bro. We're not looking.
Okay,
But that's what he's trying to say.
Bro.
Because what he's trying to say is
I'm talking about-
regardless, the responsibility still falls on the person who's on the lease. Unless, wait, let me finish. He also brought in the fact that it is up to the person's moral character to contribute, but it's not an obligation. It's not an illegal binding obligation. Because at the end of the day, they still have a place to go back to.
Okay, baby.
That's what he's trying to say.
Baby, you made a perfect point, right?
Yeah.
If you guys are moving in together, right, and you guys like, babe, come move in. That the only thing you guys talk about before you moving in, your relationship will fucking fail. Okay. Because the moment you decide to move in with someone, you talk about like, yo, once you come in, how's stuff gonna be? That's some childish shit. No, on some real stuff, that's some childish shit. If you guys just like, oh, I'm moving in with you today, babe. Oh, he has all my stuff. That's some bullshit, childish god.
But then
The moment we decide, the moment we decide that you're gonna move in together, you have a conversation. You speak about stuff. You speak about bills. You speak about how the house works.
I'm sorry.
Are you saying you move
Elias,
like
But that goes back to my point. So that goes back to my point of
difference of
like when you start paying bills, when you start doing all these things in the house, I feel like we have already graduated to another level of our relationship.
The moment you decide to move in, was already.
Calm down. Like I said, once we're living together and you decide as my spouse to be like, you know what? I don't have to wait for us to reach that level. I'm going to help you do that. To me, it's a plus on my side. It tells me that, wow, this person is really in for it. It tells me about you.
Aren't you contradicting yourself?
But calm down. Hey, but calm down. It does not mean that if she decides not to pay and not to do anything means that we have an issue. Do you feel me?
I feel like
we don't have an issue, but it's only a plus. To me, if you do that, it's only a plus.
I feel like there's
when we're engaged.
Like,
I'm sorry. Calm down. When we're engaged and we're like officially together, I definitely expect you to take up some responsibility.
For the moment, because you know why? This is why you're contradicting yourself. You said she'll move in, she doesn't have to pay anything. 1, 2. You moved in together. You didn't expect her to do anything. That was the rules you established. So now you're officially engaged and you're officially together. Now you guys you already have a routine.
No, what are you saying? You are confused.
Don't tell me I'm confused because I know what I heard.
You are really confused.
I'm not confused.
Why can I explain to you how you're confused?
Let me finish my point.
I can explain to you how you're confused.
Let me finish my point. Because you said her moving in with you, coming to stay with you in your house, your apartment, is different from you two moving in together. So when she stays with you, say she stays with you for 6 months. Say you guys are dating for 2 years and she stays with you, you stay for 6 months. Within that 6 months, you happen to get engaged, right? Right? So before that 6 months, she was staying in your apartment. You don't want her to be doing anything unless she wants to, right?
No, he said to be a plus.
It'll be a plus. So let's say she doesn't do it. You have a routine. You've been living together for 6 months. You're engaged. Now you find a place together. You already have a routine.
I'm sorry.
You can't tell her now. Okay, you weren't paying shit before.
Can I answer your question? Please, I'll answer your question quickly.
That's how big problems start.
I'll answer your question quickly. Why I say that you are confused is because you are mixing up the fact. He asked me a different question different from what I said. What I said initially was this. I'm not in support of my spouse staying in the same house with me, sharing the same place with me, paying rent to me, like in the same house. And definitely
not a level of spouse.
Calm down. That's what I said at first. Then he asked me a question. And that's why I responded to that in this question that like, if we're getting engaged, that means we're taking a step towards marriage. And towards marriage, I'm never not going to marry a partner where I expect only me to do everything. So when we're engaged, definitely calm down. When we're engaged, normally, I definitely would expect you to at least pick up. You definitely have to pick up a responsibility. Not the case where we're dating. When we're dating, you can't pick up a responsibility, and I don't care. To be honest, I really don't care.
You're fine.
If you don't pick up anything, I don't care. That's what I'm saying. So
So no, chill.
Because now you're expecting
Let me ask a question. Yo, Elias. So I get Elias.
You get my phone?
No, I don't get your phone.
Okay.
But anyway, so Elias, my Jew said, once you put that ring, once you put that ring, your finance is probably gonna shake, and you're like, you know what, babes, it's time to pay now. I just bought you a big ass ring.
Yo, fam.
We have to bullshit your fucking self.
You see, you're not as mixing up. You are mixing up my.
No, chill.
The reason why I want my spouse to contribute while we're engaged is because I want to know that I want to marry a liability. I want to marry someone I know that you can actually contribute.
Oh my God.
If you are engaged, calm down. You're done. Don't mix it up. When we are not engaged and we are casually dating, and you are living in my house and I'm paying rent, to be honest, I really don't care. If you help me pay rent, if you don't help me pay groceries, I do not care. At that point, I don't care. But if you do it, it's a plus to me. You show me that you are wiping material. But when we are engaged and we're getting ready to be married, I know that we're definitely going to split responsibility. So when we're engaged,
you're just dating for fun and then you do it with the person for fun.
What are you saying?
I think there's different types of moving in, okay?
Yeah, there's levels of moving in. I didn't know this shit. Yo, someone tell me. Give me a shot. I'm not Nigerian, don't tell me wait.
No, let her speak, please. No.
I'm trying to talk.
He's been actually trying to talk.
I'm trying to talk. Yo, Dad.
Go ahead, man.
You know what I'm trying to say is, just imagine if you eventually get a kid, right? And then this kid grows up to whatever level. Are you gonna tell your kid at 2 years old to like, yo, you gotta stop paying for your food, or you gotta stop paying house rent because you're living together with me?
Mambo, you chill. you're talking.
Like that money to feed a man shouldn't even be a big deal to your finance.
Okay, bro. I like this La La Land you guys are fucking living in. I love this wonderful La La Land you guys are living in. Because read the fucking, that's in the topic. You're moving in with your girlfriend. Are you gonna tell me like, yo, you guys do not talk about finance? Well, the moment you decide to move in with someone, there's some high school moving in. No, all some real stuff. The moment you decide to move in with someone, and you give an example about kids, bro. I'm confused about that shit. But anyway, bro, it's a being though. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me finish. It's someone. Let me finish. It's not just a kid. Let me finish. The moment that kid, you didn't have the conversation with that kid. Hey, maybe I'm about to hear you. You know what? Maybe, bro, you keep saying, I don't know why you guys are fucking screaming out retarded. But anyway, I'm sorry. Don't get offended by it. The moment you decide to move in with someone, like, bro, you talk about this stuff. Have you moved in with some girl?
No.
How old are you, bro? No, go to church. How old are you, bro?
I'm 22.
You're 22?
How old are you?
Huh?
How old are
I'm
you?
24.
Okay.
I'm 24. I would really love, like, for my brothers here.
Well, you should ask me that
chill.
You should ask me that
Chill.
question.
I would really love for my brothers and sisters out here, man. The moment you decide to move in with someone, please, if you guys do not talk about your finance, that fucking relationship.
Bro, the fuck is
chill. Even though, like, and the question was not like she's moving in with you. You have to be like, you know what, babe, let's move in together. Let's get a house together. Or let's go rent an apartment together.
Can I?
Chill. So what you guys are saying right there, the person who decided to ask the person to move in should take care of whatever has to come in.
Okay, can someone
That's what you guys are telling me.
Do you know what's funny? I think like, based on my opinion, most guys, when they say they want to pay their rents and don't let their girl contribute, it's an ego problem.
Yeah, of course
It's
it is.
No, it's my point. It's my opinion.
Get the point now.
So, but it's a very rhetoric scenario though, because the funniest thing is, when you rather ask the lady for the money, she respects you more. It's stupid. I know it's stupid.
Nah.
I
know it's stupid.
There's no girl that respects you that you're asking her for money.
No.
You're constantly asking her for money. No girl, that point is big bad.
I think like Mambo's point about some guys have an egotistical problem in regards to paying is 100% correct. There are some guys who have this issue. However, I feel like Elias's point is talking about different kinds of moving in. For instance, when I was moving in with roommates, right? I still had some of my stuff in the other place, and then I had a lot of my stuff in the new place I was moving to. It's not an obligation for me to contribute.
Right.
It's not an obligation, I'm sorry. But as a conscious, reasonable thinking human being, I would have to contribute. You know what I mean? Like, I have to contribute. That's not right if I'm staying with somebody and I'm not contributing. It's the same thing that he's talking about. There's different kinds of moving in. When you are completely moved in, lease signing, everybody is living in together, it's finalized, then of course things have to be split. But he's talking about when the responsibility is resting on him, on his shoulders, which means his name is on the lease. It is a moral, it is a moral obligation for you to pay, to help contribute, but it is not a responsibility.
You guys are saying there's different levels of moving in. So let's start with the first level. Why are you moving in the first place? What is that purpose of like your first level? Why are you moving in? To getting to know each other.
That's steps.
Okay, steps. But are you moving in the first level, the first step, whatever you want to call it, to get to know each other?
When you guys are just dating, you guys just start dating and you guys decide to move in together. Okay, the girl is going to go move in with the guy, or the guy is moving in with the girl. Like, you're trying it out. It might not work out at that point. I've even heard of couples who have moved in and decided to move back out because they couldn't do it.
And why are you trying it out then?
You're trying it out because you need to know if you guys are compatible. There's no need for you to move in with someone. You guys are trying something out and then you end up paying for somebody's rent for like months. And then you move out and you're broke and you have no way to take care of yourself.
So you're
the person that was originally staying there could pay for it. He has a job that could pay for it. He had a life before you even moved in. You move in, you start paying for half his rent, and you have to move out by yourself. How are you going to take care of yourself?
And keeping in mind, moving in is such a big...
It's a huge thing.
I'm not going to give up.
Wait. I also don't believe that. I don't believe that you are moving in before marriage. I don't believe that you're just going to move in at once. I don't
That's
think so.
impossible.
I feel like
I've never-
over the years of dating, like you're literally the first time you move in, you guys are trying it out. The second time, you guys are literally becoming committed to each other. As far as I'm concerned, you're bringing more shit in there. You're buying stuff together. You guys are starting to discuss how you're going to separate groceries. If you're even going to separate rent, stuff like that. You're becoming more committed. The third part is before marriage, gone, like actual before marriage. You guys are engaged. You've met each other's parents. You're leaving your father's house at that point.
And then you packed
You're
your
not
bags.
exactly. So then you're going to become a wife. Then you actually have responsibility.
So the first
then you guys are actually joined by vows, and you actually have to start separating things like rent and all that shit.
Points. The first 2 points, the first 2 steps, you're still partially living at your parents' house. Or wherever else you're living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that she said parents out. Some people.
Okay, no, sorry, not parents, but wherever
You might have your own apartment. You might
wherever
not
else
stay there.
So you're not fully
I'm so sorry. I
moved in.
cannot.
You're getting to know if you can stay with the person, if you
Absolutely.
can be compatible.
It's not compatibility. It's like should.
She said compatibility.
Okay. Okay.
It's the same
Because you're
stuff.
compatible.
Sure.
Okay, see, so what are you trying to figure out if you're compatible for?
For when you're married and you're living in the same
So
house.
then why is there different steps? Because now you're moving in because you see a future and you want to see if you can stay together. I don't understand the different steps.
People are confused.
No, we're not
We get the
confused.
fine
We're not
English,
really not confused. At the end of the day, we're actually telling you that there's different types of moving in.
You can't that's your perspective.
Wait, I'm not going to just pack up everything. Big move. It's a huge move. As somebody who has moved around a lot, I'm telling you right now, it's a huge impact to your personal
You
life.
moved around a
Your
lot.
mental, not to a man's place. I'm saying like a move.
I just asked you.
Oh my God.
Please don't let them.
But anyways, as I was saying, to pack your things, everything, and just
How much is that?
locate. Oh my God,
Please,
I'm trying to talk. As you're locating, it's a huge impact on you emotionally, physically, everything. It takes a toll on you. Finances change.
So what moving?
You know what I mean? So as I was saying, I cannot pack everything and then move into a place that I'm not sure is going to last 100%.
Also, I have something to say. Bringing up what you said before, you said something about your mom saying that if you stay with a guy, you lose your value. This is also relating to that point. When you move in for the first time, you start paying rent, you start paying for groceries, you start doing everything like you're married.
Let me clarify.
That is when you actually start losing your value.
My own opinion is I think there's a positive and a negative side in the scenario, because if you're moving with a girl that is a potential wife, you get, there's no way she can live a character life in front of you every single day. You know, you get to know that person on a deeper level. And the bad side is that I'm a guy and I understand most men, they'll kind of lose the value of a woman when she stays with him all the time. You know, she's just available there, you know. Basically, that's it. There's a good and a bad to it.
I'm sorry, when you guys get married, are you going to get tired of her too? Like that?
Yeah.
When you guys get married, are you going to get tired of her too like that?
Did I talk about getting tired of someone?
Yes. You just literally said that right here, right now.
No, he said the value, he never said he was tired.
Okay, the value.
He literally said you will get tired of something.
It's just that.
would you
Just
lose
what-
No, like, okay, from a guy's perspective, right? Let me not use the word value, neglect. You neglect the right things to do. Maybe I used the wrong word.
Don't appreciate.
Yeah, you don't appreciate them more for probably who they are. Just be like, okay, I mean, she's here and she wakes up in the morning.
Still my same question. When you get married to a wife and you move into the house and you're living with her, do you still feel the same? Would you still feel the
Oh
same?
no, you put a ring on her finger and now you guys.
Oh, so because you magically put a ring on her finger, that's what just
And see,
what
automatically
society
changes your
defines-
mind.
see, that's
That's what changes
society
your mind
defines
to
it
be
that
like, oh. Okay, yeah, so is it ideal to move in with your partner before marriage? Me, yes, it's definitely important, because I feel like a lot of mistakes people made is because our older generation kept telling us that, oh, you guys don't do this, don't do that. But I feel it's very important for you to get to know your spouse, like get to know this person before you get married, like get to understand everything. So I feel, yeah, it's definitely important. You can't lose when you move with your partner. You either, if you guys end up breaking, then it's for the. If you guys end up breaking up, then it's for the better. If you guys end up working, it's still for the better. But yeah, I think it's a good move.
Okay, personally, is it ideal? I would say no. I would base it on how I was raised. I would base it on my beliefs, but I'm also basing it on how our society is nowadays. We are not looking at older generations, we're not looking at future generations, we're seeing how everyone is now. I think it's not ideal because that should all be left for when you guys get married. All these things that you don't know about your partner, that's the beauty of you getting married. Yes, no one is perfect. You know that by getting into that relationship, you're getting into that marriage, you're gonna discover that later. You're getting married not to get divorced. So if later on you guys are moving in together, you guys are finally married, it's official, you're discovering all these things about them, okay, they're gonna discover things about you too. And that's how I see it.
To me, I don't think I've had an opinion on that yet, because both scenarios have different views and different things you can learn from. You know, as a guy, it's kind of intriguing to not live with my girl and then marry her. At the same time, I want to live with her and get to know her. So I will conclude that it depends on the person. If I meet a girl that the vibe is, moving in before, okay, cool. But if I meet a girl that the vibe is, she wants to stay and let's figure it out, I still go with it and try to figure it out from there.
I think I would say it's ideal because you have to know the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. It's a whole different level of comfortability. I can't say that word. So like for me, it takes me a while to get comfortable. So to just jump me right into that kind of situation where I'm married, it's tricky. So I would say ideally, for my own opinion, it's good to test it out first, see how it goes, and then you can like work out kinks. So then at least, because marriage itself is a big deal, right? You have so many changes going on when you get married. You don't want to overwhelm yourself.
So I think it's just perfectly ideal for you guys to move in together. That's all. There's no way I'm gonna know someone if we don't like actually have like moving together. It just won't work out. It won't work out.
I just feel like to a certain extent, I feel like it is ideal, but it has to be after years of developing trust. I cannot move in with somebody, even personally, even after a year. Like, I really have to know you. We have to really be in a serious, committed, trusting relationship before I move and compromise my security and move in with somebody.
To me, I believe it's ideal. I believe it should be like a standard before you actually get married, like before you actually go to the altar and like speak your vows. I also like support what Betty says. I feel like the years you have behind the relationship actually does play like a role in if you guys want to live together or not. It also plays a role in if you guys can actually live together, because I feel as though like if you guys are just starting out your relationship, let's say 3 months or so, and you decide to live together, I feel like you guys might not exactly work out as well as you expect, because you still have these expectations of each other, and when you start living with people, like what you expect is not what you're going to get, obviously. So being in that honeymoon phase and like deciding to move in, it might actually just like destroy your whole relationship. So I feel like you need to have like a solid background and like good understanding of each other before you decide to move in. And finally, I feel like the only reason why moving in is seen as bad is only because of society and because what we've been taught. I feel like most people like would probably have better relationships if they actually stay together for at least a few months. Because once you're married, you have to deal with all these things and you don't even know what you're expecting. So you just get into a marriage and you're seeing things that you can't live with. And then you start realizing that this person does things against your morals or does things against like your own views. So you just end up being conflicted. So it's just really ideal to live with your partner for marriage.
I can't buy a vehicle without test driving it, so gotta hit the highway, hit the brake works, gear, everything.